Soichiro Honda was born in 1906 in a small, humble village in Japan. Few could have predicted that this boy, raised in poverty and hardship, would become one of the most influential names in the global automotive industry. But what makes Soichiro Honda such a fascinating figure? What drove him to overcome the barriers life placed in his way and transform into one of the greatest visionaries of his time? To understand this, we need to travel back in time to a small village where the dreams of a young boy began to take shape. Picture yourself in a Japanese village at the beginning of the 20th century. Dirt roads, simple wooden houses, and the constant sound of a hammer echoing through the village. That was the sound of Soichiro's father, a blacksmith who spent his days repairing bicycles and farm tools. Hard work and the smell of oil and metal were part of Soichiro's daily life. His mother, a weaver, worked tirelessly to help support the family, but even so, their economic conditions were tough, almost unbearable. Soichiro saw 5 of his siblings die in childhood, victims of poverty and a lack of access to medical care. For any child, this could have been a reason for despair, but for Soichiro, these tragic losses fueled his determination to escape poverty. He knew he needed to find a way to change his destiny, but what exactly would lead him down the path that would turn him into a global icon? The answer came in the form of an unexpected encounter. When Soichiro was just 8 years old, an extraordinary event occurred in his small village. A Ford Model T appeared, roaring down the dirt road. For Soichiro, it was as if the world had opened up. That noisy machine, with its roaring engine and spinning wheels, awakened something inside him. He was fascinated, mesmerized by the power and complexity of the automobile. But what did he see at that moment? Was it the idea of escaping his reality? Or maybe he glimpsed the potential that such a complex machine could have in people's lives? That encounter with the Ford Model T was not just a passing curiosity. It planted a seed in Soichiro's mind that would grow over the years. At 15, driven by this newfound passion, Soichiro made a decision that would change his life forever. He left his village and went to Tokyo, the great capital of Japan. His goal was clear: he wanted to learn everything he could about machines and engines. Soichiro got a job at a mechanic shop called Art Shokai. But this job wasn't what many might imagine when they think of working with cars. There was no glamour, not even an immediate chance to get his hands on an engine. Soichiro began his journey by cleaning the shop and taking care of the owner's son. But what would you do in such a situation? Maybe you'd give up, or perhaps you'd become frustrated. But not Soichiro. He knew that every task, no matter how simple, was an opportunity to learn. And so, day after day, he watched, asked questions, and absorbed all the knowledge he could. Slowly, he gained the trust of the master mechanics and began working on engines. But Soichiro wasn't satisfied with just learning. He wanted more. He wanted to innovate, to push the limits of what was possible. And it was this drive to always seek something more that led him to get involved in a daring project. At that time, car racing was becoming popular in Japan. For Soichiro, racing wasn't just a sport, it was an opportunity to test the limits of engineering. He got involved in building a race car, the Curtiss, designed to compete in the 1924 Japan Automobile Championship. Think about that, a young man, still in his early years of experience, embarking on such an ambitious project. And not only did he participate, but the Curtiss won the race, putting Soichiro Honda's name in the spotlight in the Japanese automotive scene. But, as we know, life rarely follows a linear path. Success in racing was only a prelude to the challenges that would follow. World War II devastated Japan, and with it, the factories and dreams of many. Soichiro saw his factories destroyed, his creations reduced to rubble. But instead of succumbing to despair, he saw in this tragedy an opportunity for reinvention. After the war, Japan was in ruins. The economy was in collapse, and people were struggling to rebuild their lives. It was in this scene of destruction that Soichiro had a revolutionary idea. He adapted a generator engine to a bicycle, creating a simple and efficient motorcycle. Think of the genius of that idea. In a time when resource scarcity was a reality, Soichiro found an accessible and practical solution to the population's transportation needs. In 1946, he founded the Honda Motor Company, and this small company, born from the ashes of the war, quickly became the largest motorcycle manufacturer in the world. But how was that possible? How did a man with so few resources manage to build an empire from such a simple idea? The answer lies in Soichiro Honda's vision. He didn't just see motorcycles, he saw the opportunity to transform people's lives, to offer mobility at a time when Japan desperately needed practical and affordable solutions. But Soichiro Honda's ambition didn't stop there. He knew that Honda could go beyond motorcycles. And so, in 1963, he launched Honda's first car, the T360, a small truck followed by the S500, a sports car that combined performance and affordability. These cars marked the beginning of a new era for Honda, which quickly expanded to the American and European markets. What's fascinating is how Soichiro Honda managed to do this at a time when the global automotive industry was dominated by giants like Ford, General Motors, and Volkswagen. How did he manage to penetrate these highly competitive markets and establish Honda as a prestigious brand? The answer lies in constant innovation and the undeniable quality of his products. Soichiro wasn't interested in following the traditional path. He wanted to redefine what a car should be. The success of the Civic and Accord models, launched in the 1970s, solidified Honda as one of the world's leading automakers. These cars weren't just vehicles, they were symbols of reliability, efficiency, and innovative design. But why did these cars stand out so much? Perhaps it's because Soichiro Honda, from the beginning, refused to compromise on quality. To him, every detail mattered, and that attention to detail was what made the difference. Soichiro Honda retired in 1973, but his legacy continued to grow. He had created a company that would not only survive his departure but would continue to innovate and redefine the automotive industry. Soichiro died in 1991, but his vision, his passion, and his determination are still palpable in every product that bears the Honda name. And so, the story of Soichiro Honda leaves us with a crucial question: what does it take to turn dreams into reality? Perhaps the answer lies in the courage to face challenges, the willingness to learn from every experience, no matter how humble, and the ability to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Soichiro Honda didn't just build a company, he showed us that, even in the most adverse circumstances, it's possible to achieve the extraordinary. And you? Are you ready to face challenges and turn your dreams into reality? No matter how big or small your dream is, what matters is what you do with it. This is the moment to act, to turn ideas into reality, and to pursue the extraordinary. If this story inspired you, share it. Pass on Soichiro Honda's legacy and help others see that with determination and vision, anyone can achieve the impossible. Remember, the first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most important. Are you ready to take yours?